afternoon, everyone. My name is Oluwabusayo Odukoya, and you can also call me the Global Teacher. Last week we started word problems, and we discussed about the definition of word problems and the steps you are going to take when you see a particular word problem. Then we also discussed the keywords. So today we'll be solving some examples on sum and differences. Let's take for example. Let's look at this example together. The sum of 4 consecutive numbers is 58. Find the numbers. So from here we have something like the sum. What do we mean by sum? This sum is what you get when you add 2 or more numbers together. Sum is what you get when you add 2 or more numbers together. Now, the sum of 4 consecutive numbers is 58. Find the numbers. Now, we are talking about the sum of 4 consecutive numbers. What do we mean by consecutive? That means sequential. Consecutive means sequential. Numbers that follow one another. Like you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are consecutive numbers, like 21, 22, 23, 24. So when you say consecutive, they are numbers that follow each other. So numbers that follow one another. Now what we can have even consecutive. Even consecutive means even numbers that follow one another. Now what does that mean? You can have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That means the difference between one number from the other is 2. So, and we can also have odd consecutive numbers. Odd consecutive numbers are 7, 9, 11, 13. So, and the difference between them is 2. So that means that if one is x, the next one after it is going to be x plus 2 or x minus 2. So that means that the difference between one from the next one in the sequence is going to be 2. So either you can either use plus 2 or minus 2. Now let's go back to our question. So we have the sum of 4 consecutive numbers is 58. So this is actually ordinary consecutive. That means just consecutive numbers, which means that you can have 7, 8, 9, 10. That means the difference between them is actually 1. The first one will be x. The second one will be x plus 1. The third one is going to be x plus 2. And the last number is going to be x plus 3. Now let's analyze that on the board. So we have, let the first number be x. I've told you, you can either use x plus 1 or x minus 1. So the next one is going to be the second number will be x plus 1. Third number x plus 2. The next number, the last one, which is the fourth number, x plus 3. Now, the question states that the sum of 4 consecutive numbers is 58. Find the numbers. Now, the sum, that means we would have to add these 4 numbers together. So we have x plus 1 plus x plus 2 plus x plus 3. Everything is going to give us 58 according to our question. So we have x plus x plus x plus x, and that's 4x. Anytime you see x, just put 1 in front. When you see an ordinary letter, just put 1 in. That means 1x plus 1x plus 1x plus 1x. That's 4x. That's 4x plus 1 plus 2 plus 3. That's 6 equals to 58. So 4x equals to 58 minus 6. And that gives us x, 4x equals to 52. And that means x is equals to 52 over 4, which is equals to 13. So if x is equals to 13, and don't forget x is our first number. So the second number is going to be, this is our first, that means first number equals 13. Second number equals to x plus 1. That means 13 plus 1, which is what? Which is 14. Third number, that's x plus 2. X is 13. So that will be 13 plus 2 to give you 13 plus 2 is going to give us 15. Fourth number, x plus 3. X plus 3 is 13 plus 3, which is 16. So find the numbers. So the numbers required here are 13, 14, 15, and 16. Let's solve our next example on difference. Example 2. The difference between 8 and another number is 17. The key word here is difference. And what does difference mean? Difference between two numbers is the results you get when you subtract one number from the other number. And if you have, for example, the difference between 6 and 3 is 3, because 6 minus 3 is 3. And the difference is such that you can have positive difference and negative difference. What do I mean? The bigger number minus the smaller number gives a positive difference. What do I mean? 6 minus 3 gives 3, because 6 is greater than 3. So you have plus 3. But if you are saying 3 minus 6, you have minus 3, because 3 is lesser than 6. So difference can be of two types. You can have negative difference and you can also have positive difference. So let's go back to our question. So you have the difference between 8 and another number is 17. Find two possible values for the number. That means, don't forget, we've just talked about difference. That means there are two scenarios, and that's why we have two possible values. The first one is if the number is greater than 8, and the other number is if the number is lesser than 8. So that implies that, let's give the number a letter. What letter should we give? Let's give the number P. Let the number be P. That means if P is greater than 8. So if P is greater than 8, that implies that P minus 8 will be equals to 17. Are we getting it? Because P is greater than 8. That implies that you have P equals to, minus 8 is going to the other side, it's becoming plus 8, because it's crossing the equals to sign. So you have 17 plus 8. And that means P will be equals to 17 plus 8 gives you 25. So that is for the first scenario. So for the second scenario, you try that as an exercise. So try that as an exercise. I'll wait for you.
Hi, as you're trying to solve the other aspect of example 2, I just want to know that it might seem as if today's work looks simple or even trivial, but never mind. These small lessons are building your foundation. Before you know it, would ease into the aspects you once considered difficult, and I assure you, you will handle them with confidence and no stress.
Okay, so let's solve that. Let's solve the second example. Let's solve the second the second possible value. Let's solve for the second possible value. So we have P less than 8. P is less than 8. That means that 8 minus P is going to give you 17. That means that 8 is greater than P. So that means that 8 minus P equals to 17. So that implies that, let's take minus P to the other side because minus P has minus. Let's make it positive. So we have 8 minus 17 equals to P. And what is 8 minus 17? 8 minus 17 is minus 9. That's minus 9 equals to P, which implies that P is equals to minus 9. So, what are our possible values? Our possible values here is going to be P equals to 25 or minus 9. So, I want you to try this as an exercise. So I want you to try this as an exercise.
We've come to the end of today's lesson, and I want to believe that you've learned one thing or the other. Feel free to comment or ask any question. See you next class. Bye.